Hello, seventh and eighth graders. I wanted to walk through with you on my expectations for your presentations and how you can make it really good. Some of these things you may recognize because we did them last year when we were in science, but it's a little bit different this time, and so I want you to help. This first slide in your assignment of your presentation, step 6, is in fact your information or your instructions, and it will help you understand what you're going to do. You're going to open up a new slideshow and you're going to go from there. Okay? The second slide is one that you may remember from last year, and this is helping you to understand all of the different things that you could do in slides. Let me go back again, and we're going to talk a little bit here, and then I'll go back. One of the things you can do is you can color a text box. Just make sure that when you color the text box, that the text that you are trying to use is still seen. If you look up in the red box, the text there is white because black doesn't show up in the red very much. Here in the purple, I've got yellow text, so that it's seen, and you can see some different things. You can outline your text box thick or thin. You can outline it with dots if you want. It's one of the things you can do. You can tip your text box so it's not necessarily just straight across. You can tip it a little bit and give it a little more excitement to the slide. You can bold your font, but make sure that you can read the font. Pick a font that you can do. Look at the orange box over there. You can make your box long instead of wide and do your information that way. You can put graphics like this heart or this star or this call-out box or the arrow or the smiley face. You can use those kinds of things. You can also use a GIF. Watch the GIF up there. It's kind of fun. It's actually kind of a composer GIF, so you could use it. If it works with your slide. Now, if you're trying to get somebody to look that way on your slide, you don't want to have your arrow pointing that way. All sorts of things. One other thing, and I'm going to go back for a minute. I see the stars around the green box. Look what happens. This is animation, and it's another thing that you can do. Look, see those stars just popped in and gave that box a little bit more fun. If you're not sure on how to do any of these things, please come and ask. I am usually in Google Hangouts from 2:30 till about 4:30. I'm hanging out there if you have any questions, and we can do a quick Zoom if that's something we need to do. All right? So come and find me if you have questions. I want this to be really fun, but I also want you to understand what you're doing because these are things that will help you down the line. Okay? All right, so let's go to the next one. There are a few things that you want to avoid. I know this is hard to see in the video, but it is right in your assignment, so you can look there. But I want to just talk about it. Be careful if you add a theme. I'm going to add a theme. You go up here and you click on themes, and they show up over here. What happens when you add a theme is that not only does it show up on this slide, but it shows up on all your slides. And if that theme is going to detract from what you're trying to say, don't use it. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't use a theme. Maybe you would like to use a theme and that it works with what you're doing. But look, even here, some of the words are crossed out. I can't read them. So you need to be really careful when you're using a theme to make sure that it fits with what you're doing. And I would put the theme in first because then you know what you have to work with. But something else that you could do that might be a little bit better would be just to color the slide, color the text box, or even color the slide. And the way you color the slide is you go up here to background, click on a color. Let's say I want to make this bright blue. I'm done. But if you'll notice over here in my menus, it's only that slide that I turned bright blue. Okay? So that's the background slide. I'm going to go back to transparent again because I like it that way. All right, and it's easier to read. Okay? Make sure that your text is able to be read, especially if you put it in color. If you have purple background, you don't want to use purple text. If you have purple background, you probably want to use white text. Okay? Also, you don't want to use graphics that don't fit with what you're talking about. That's like the arrow thing going this way and that way. Make sure that it fits with what you're saying. Okay? If we go back here to this slide, it says right here, I, Ms. BH, love to do these things. So that graphic fits with what I'm saying. But if you're talking about something sad, you don't want to put a smiley face there. Makes sense, right? Make sure that your fonts are able to be read. You are not you reading this slide, but I'm reading this slide, or your classmates are reading these slides. And we want to make sure that they can read them. So be sure that your fonts are readable. I know there are lots of really cool fonts, and I play with fonts all the time, but you want to make sure that your fonts are readable. And don't add too many things to one slide. Kiss it, keep it simple, students. But have fun and enjoy, all right? I will admit that this slide has way too much stuff on it, okay? But keep it simple. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to import a slide. You are going to go up here to File. All right, that's where I'm at. And then you're going to click down on Import Slides. And I want to import, it's reading my files, I want to import from, oh look, there's Angels Johann Sebastian Bach. All sorts of good things are already turned in. Maybe I want to go to this music, Welcome to Music, and I want to import something from there. Okay, so I open that. Come on. My computer's being weird today. I don't know what's going on. I think I need to shut something down. But anyway, I would click on that slideshow. It would open up the slideshow, and then I would click on which slides I want to import. And then they would drop right in there. So I went back to my project fact sheet, my composer fact sheet, and this was my picture slide that I had in there, okay? And I decided that I wanted to use some of these pictures. You'll see them in a minute. The other thing that I did was that I copied my whole essay onto a slide, okay? I had to shrink it down a little bit. I had to make it work. This isn't for consumption. This is so that I have a working copy of my essay, and everything that I have kind of highlighted is what I want to put on my slides, okay? So I want to put pre-revolution Russia, and he was a child prodigy. He liked musical theater and film music, all sorts of things. Here's my title slide. You'll see that I have a single picture, his name in at least 60 point, and then the dates that he lived. I don't need to say anything more than that. That tells it right there, okay? This box right here is an instructional box. It's not meant to be there. It's just to help you out as you look at, my slideshow. Here are a couple of pictures. Pre-revolutionary Russia. Him as a child prodigy. That means he played piano really, really early, okay? And then I just put it, remember this is just an informational box. I put in text that was very small, and if you look, it's in nice big letters. There's my text box there. Here's my text box here, okay? And that's all I have on that slide. I don't have lots and lots of little words. Everything is at least 24 point, at least. This might even be, I don't know, let me look. Yep, that's 24 point. So it can be seen from the back of the classroom, all right? And you want to make sure that you're doing the same thing. My next slide talks about when he left Russia and what he did. You can see here he's on the cover of the very famous magazine Time. Here's his family. I don't have to say that he has 2 children and that he was married, but I'm talking about when he lived in the U.S., France, and Germany. Prokofiev met his wife and began his family. He also learned to compose for new genres of music, film music, and stage music. This is the composition that I chose, Peter and the Wolf, a couple of different views of it, a little bit of the music, and then an explanation, okay? I didn't say I chose Peter and the Wolf. No, it's just there, okay? And then I had some extra slides and some interesting things that I wanted to share. And these were a couple of that, and I just labeled this slide Sergio Prokofiev, Beyond the Music, okay? And you can see how I did that. I just labeled the pictures. I didn't put a lot in there, just a little bit. And then this is my concluding slide, all right? That's all I did. So I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to take your time to really make your presentation a good presentation. These are skills you need as you move forward through your education, but it will also help all of your classmates understand a little bit more about your composer, and that's the ultimate goal. You are going to present after Christmas your presentation. You're not going to read your essay. I read your essay. I know what belongs in your presentation because I've read your essay, and you just need to create the presentation to share the information with your classmates. All right? If you have any questions, I am available on Google Hangouts in the afternoon from 2:30 to 4:30. Come and join me. If you have questions, we can start a Zoom and you can ask me specifically, or we can just chat on Google Hangouts. It's much easier than email. So get a hold of me that way. I'm there from 2:30 to 4:30 every afternoon, and you can come and see me. All right. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.